This is a Bavaria S30, and this would make a brilliant first sports cruiser. It's a really nice size, it's manageable, it's a good looking boat, it's got some good accommodation, and it works well. I'm going to take you on board and give you the full tour and explain to you exactly why. So if we head on up these steps, you'll be able to see her in all her glory. There we go. That's actually a pretty good looking boat, isn't it? I like the rake of the radar arch, the way that sweeps forward. This one has got the extended bathing platform on it. And if you come around here, we can step aboard. What have we got back here? That is a manual bilge pump, and that one there is the deck shower. So you can shower yourself off when you come for swimming, and there's a little gate there. You've got a decent cockpit on this one, and in fact, you can drop this table down and make that into a big sun pad if you want to. There are canopies as well that come across here and down, so you can enclose this whole area, which is of course very handy when you're leaving the boat or if you're staying on it and you want a bit more space. Turns this into a living area, even when the weather's not so good. Little wet bar over here, so we've got the sink. There's a barbecue on this one, there's a fridge underneath. And what I like is that rather than taking all this seating right to the front, which will give you a bigger seating area around the table, they've not done that. They've put this seating area here, and that's a really good idea, because if you do take this all the way forward, then anyone sat here is facing backwards. It's really nice when you're underway. You can have a couple of people sat here, whoever's driving is sat here, you can have a couple more people sat back here. So, 5 or 6 people can sit here facing in the right direction when you're cruising, but you've still got loads of space when you're stopped and you're just sat around at an anchorage having a nice time. Helm position then is over here. This one's got a single engine in it, so you've got the single throttle control. What else have we got? We've got the multifunction display that lives underneath here. And that one is a VHF radio. Engine instrumentation is across here, so rev counter. You've got fuel gauge there. I think I'm right in saying? Yes, it is. Temperature, outdrive trim, battery, and that's your rev counter, and there's a compass up on top. Bow thruster on this one, that's very, very handy. And then there's just a switch panel for the boat, so lights and pumps and all that kind of stuff. Anchor winches on here as well. And if we head down below, this is a door that slides across. This is a locking door, so that's kind of, if you like, security from there on in. And if we go down here, it's a pretty standard layout, but it works well. So you've got the dinette up there in the bow. Now that will drop down and make into a double bed. You've got standing headroom at this end, as you can see. I'm just over 6 foot and I can stand in here, so that's good. It drops as you go forward and the floor comes up because of course the V of the hull is doing this. But up there you don't need it because you sat around a table, so that's absolutely fine. They put a TV in here, there's a hatch up above and there's a blind that comes across that. So that's a fly screen that way or a night blind that way. So you've got ventilation and light there. Same with the windows, they open as well. Another switch panel up here and your stereo is here as well. That one there is taking us into things like the 240 volt circuit breakers and so forth. And then if we spin on round, the galley is over on this side. This one is all electric, so you need to be plugged into the shore power for that to work. Fridge is down there, and then up here this is just a bit of storage like so. Decent sized sink underneath here, and then down here we've got cutlery drawer. That one's just a bit more storage, and this one's got the bin like so. Now on the other side then to here, and again you're back into the area you've got the most headroom. This is the heads. So toilet in there, it's draining, and there's a shower as well. Now you don't get a separate shower compartment with this because it's a 30-foot boat, so it is what it is. But it's still a pretty decent size, it's perfectly usable. You've got storage in here as well, there and there. Little blind that drops down over there, so you get a bit of privacy in there if you need it. That's all you need, isn't it? I do like the light wood in here. I think that makes it feel nice and modern and spacious. And the other thing that you have is, if we go back here, this is the mid cabin. So what this does, it's a very clever layout because it uses this area here to give you headroom, and then it drops down and goes back under, so you get dual purpose. Here you've got obviously the deck up here, but you've also got space underneath it. So if we go into here then, as I say, headroom as you come in, nice little settee in here, and then it drops down, as you can see, And that's a pretty decent sized bed. And you sleep with your head at this end. So your head's underneath here, you don't feel claustrophobic. Obviously if you had your head down that end, you probably would. But your feet go down there, head's up here. It's a nice wide bed, that's absolutely fine. I have a very similar arrangement on my boat and we sleep in it a lot, it's very comfortable. Those are the infill cushions to go on that table up in the cockpit, so you can make that into a sun pad. If we open this fella here, we've got some storage in there. And that's about the size of that, really. So it's a pretty simple boat, but very effective. Let's come back out of here. Let's take a turn around the decks, and then we'll finish off with the engine space. So we'll come back up here, and to get onto the side decks, what I like about Bavaria's, and they all do this, is they bring this rail, rather than stopping it up here, they bring it all the way back down to here, which means that as you step up onto here, you're immediately protected. You're immediately inside this rail as you come around. There's another one here to hold on to. This is this radar arch that I mentioned. So this is for things like the antenna, the horn, the television aerial, navigation lights and so on. And then this is actually quite a decent sized side deck. We can wander up here. We've got sunbathing cushions up here on the bow. That is the infill that goes over there. And then if we come right up to the bow, and let's drop that one in just for a minute so you can see how that works. See, self-explanatory, isn't it? And then anchor on the front, and in here you got the anchor winch. Nice solid rails on this. You can see all this sort of construction here. It all feels nice and solid. And there she is. She's a smart sports cruiser, isn't she? Brilliant. Let's head on back. I'm going to show you the engine. This zip here is so that you can get the canopy in. So there's a framework there and it comes forward, and that's how this whole area encloses. You can see again, there's a zip underneath here. Same idea, so it just zips in. Okay, we'll come back here. Now this hinge is open, and it's much easier to do if you remove this table, because obviously the table stops it from going very far. So with the magic of video editing, voila, as they say in Germany. Okay, so now we can open this one up nice and easily and see it all properly. And what we've got in here is a Volvo Penta D4 300. You can apparently get twin D3s if you want twin diesel engines, or twin petrols, but the D4 is certainly the most popular engine in this size boat, and I think it suits it well because, you know, it's an economical option in as much as fuel consumption and servicing costs, which for this type of boat is the sort of thing that most people want. It's actually quite a decent engine room with that engine in. Because it'll take twins, it means you can actually get right down into there, for example, and get around the engine. So that's a nice feature. Top speed on this was a bit over 30 knots, cruising there for 20, 25 knots, something like that. In your range, you're going to be probably 200, 250 miles, depending on how fast you're going, that sort of speed. But they're a good engine. I've got a D4 in my own boat, and it runs very nicely. I think it would work well in this boat. So there we go. That is the engine. Let's pop that one back down. Okay, let's go and finish up at the helm. And I will say huge thanks to Clipper Marine. They've organised this tour for me. They're the dealers for these in the UK. Huge thanks, of course, to you guys for watching. We'll look forward to catching you on another one of these very soon. Take care. Bye-bye.